Because like I said, my job on a sales call is to give people the value. What will it mean if I could take this time away with you, with my strategy? What will it mean to you if you had a roadmap to know what to do in your business, right? When I think about what it means to somebody, if I solve that problem and I can speak to that, they will pay $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 if I can speak to, I understand the transformation my business is going to do to them. And that's what anyone as a business, make sure you're not talking about, I have a course or a program, it's got these modules. No one cares about the product. They care about what happens after they work with you. They care that you understand their problem and you can give them the transformation they want. This is why focusing on one thing and being very clear on the problem and the person who's going to pay for that problem is going to transform the amount of money you can charge. It's going to transform the way you want to show up. Your social media content is going to be so clear because you understand the person, problem, and the promise, which is your service, the vehicle. You're going to solve it. That's the only thing people need to know from you.
You're listening to the Black to Business podcast, an educational podcast providing Black entrepreneurs with the tools and resources to start and grow their businesses. We chat with vetted Black entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and business owners as they provide tips and resources to help take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Monique T. Marshall.
Hi, family. It has been a minute, and we are so excited to be back with the Black to Business podcast. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do, to give you information that you need to succeed in your business. So before I dive into today's episode, I kind of want to overshare. Yes, overshare. So I just want to let you know what's going on and what's new. And also moving forward, can we please use this space as a no judgment zone? Not only for me, but also for the guests. We're pretty transparent around here, and we want to make sure that the guests are comfortable to share their big wins and also their big mistakes so that you can avoid making those same mistakes in your business. Is it all right with y'all? Okay, great. That's why I love y'all. Okay, so getting back to me oversharing, I want to share why I'm so excited for today's episode. So joining me on today's podcast is online business strategist Chido Samantha. Chido is an expert on helping online entrepreneurs gain clarity in their messaging and business to help them earn and sell more. Like, who doesn't want to earn and sell more? I know I do. So I invited Chido on the show, one, because she really knows her stuff. And I'm not just saying that to hype her up, but also because I've worked with her and I've seen the results that she can get. So Chido and I have worked together for the past 2 years with Black to Business, and she's responsible for a lot of the successful pivots and changes that we have today. So because she has helped us at Black to Business, I wanted to share her with my family. I wanted to share her with you. During this episode, Chido and I discussed the importance of creating a business strategy and roadmap to make sure that you're on a path to make money and how you can sell more with a premium service. And also, we even dive into how you can define your ideal client and test the market. Amazing. So let's get into it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very special guest, someone who has been very instrumental in my own business, Black to Business. So without further ado, let me welcome Miss Chido Samantha. Welcome, Chido.
Hi, Monique. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. I'm excited to have you on the show. So we've worked together a lot and you've helped me so much with Black to Business. And I just wanted to share you with my audience. So before we get started, I wanted you to tell my listeners a little bit about who you are if they don't know your story already, and how did you get where you are today, and what is it that you do in your business?
Great. Well, what I'm an online business strategist, and this is how you and I kind of got connected. I think you slid into my DMs like 3 years ago, just asking a business advice question. And so I help people with their strategy of how they can earn more and sell more by selling a premium high ticket service online. And the way I help people do that is usually around them getting clarity in their messaging, marketing, and not only just getting clear on that, but actually launching, right? So I know when we talk together, we're getting clarity on your messaging, marketing, and you launching all the new changes in your business. So I help people do that.
Yes. So Chido is definitely right. I slid in her DMs and I saw her on Instagram and I just love how thorough she was with her message. So I reached out to her actually for just a brief call. And from there, I was like, I wasn't ready at that time, but I was like, just the value that she gave me from a free call. I was like, when I'm ready, I'm going to work with Chido. And that's why Black to Business is where it's at today. So yeah, shout out to Chido.
Thank you. It was a pleasure working with you and everything you're doing.
Yes, thanks. So speaking of clarity, that's one of the things you've helped me with in my business. So why does it matter to have clarity in your business for those who are listening?
Yeah. And you know what? I find it interesting because it doesn't matter if someone is new to business or I work with very advanced seasoned business owners. And the number one thing I honestly get to help them with is with clarity. Because this is what happens. We have what we call the curse of the expert, right? We know so much about what we do and how we do what we do that we can't tell everyday person what we do. So I like to say what I get to tell my clients to do is to explain to me what they do like I'm 5, right? Explain exactly the person, problem, and promise. And usually people are not clear because they cannot explain what they do in the simplest way that somebody says, I want that. And that's really what I do. I get people to really break down what they do so the right person with that problem wants to buy from them. And that's what I mean by getting clarity is connecting that.
Definitely. And I like how you said that, explain it like to a 5-year-old. I think that's so important in getting clear on your message. So one other thing also is, I think a big thing with entrepreneurs is either if they're a startup or if they're further into their business, a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners sometimes struggle with, is this my right audience? Is this my right? Am I speaking to the right person? So I know in the entrepreneurship world, the avatar or your ideal client is very important. So can you talk about some ways that people can, clarify on that aspect of, defining your avatar? Who are you speaking to, and maybe pivoting?
Absolutely. So one thing I advocate for is think of your, what we call in marketing, ideal client, your avatar as a human, right? People think like, when people tell me, they're like, it's someone from 18 to 30, and they explain it like it's anybody, right? I can help anybody lose weight. I can help anyone start a business. And if you're really trying to sell to everyone, I'm sure you've heard this, like you're selling to no one. And really saying it is a person who's a millennial, who's 30, who is working in corporate. She has a problem being fit and her nutrition. She eats out all the time. She doesn't want to work on weekend. When you get so clear and see them as a person, that really changes what your marketing and messaging. Because she likes reality TV. Guess what? You can have reality TV content. If she would buy a $15 smoothie without even thinking about it, you can share content that, she will be attracted to a $15 smoothie. So when we are talking about our person, what people do wrong, our avatar, they don't think of it as a person. They think of it this range of people. They just want to serve more people, right? And when I tell people to what we call niching down, talking to one person, it is like the scariest thing I'm asking people to do because they feel like, I'm missing so many people, right? They start thinking about how many people they're not reaching. But I'm like, no. You just want to talk to the person you can help. You're not supposed to help everyone. And I think the biggest thing is that you're supposed to attract your people, but great marketing repels people. You're supposed to turn the people who are not her, who would complain about a $15 smoothie. Like you want to repel. As much as we want to attract people, we have to do a good job at repelling people away.
I like that, repelling people. I think, because that's one of the things we did when I took your program is, solidifying who is my audience, who am I speaking to? And one of the reasons why I really got into serving service-based businesses and not just general Black-owned business. And that was hard for me because it's like, I want to help everyone. Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's speaking specifically to that person, who she is. And I call my avatar Sandra. So, mm-hmm. And speaking of marketing, one of the things is, of course, so you have this avatar and you're getting clear and you have the clarity. You're gaining some clarity. How do you test to see if it works?
Mm-hmm. So, I think one thing people need to know about business is that you're never going to start a business with an idea with a person and hit a home run, right? We got to be comfortable in having what I call the market, your audience, tell you what they want. Because it's not enough to create a business or program in our own silo, behind our laptops, behind our own wall. We're creating this business, but we're not even talking to the people. This is the biggest mistake I've seen some people do is create a program, create an offer. And I'm like, great. Who's purchased it? Who have you asked anyone? And they're like, nobody. You need to be building a business, a program, a course, a service in real time and ask people, right? Go to Facebook groups, go to communities, ask them, what is your problem with fitness? What is your problem with accounting as a business owner, right? Actually here, I like to go into groups and ask questions, and I'll actually copy and paste exactly the way they say it. Because sometimes you can have a great offer, but I'm not saying it right.
That's a good point. I like that. Mm. And one of the things I know you do and you do really well is you give that personal touch. I remember specifically like a video response to specifically like your audience. And I think another thing is people getting on the phone, picking up the phone and calling people. I would love if someone's business I'm patronizing calls me. I feel so special. So that's one of the things I'm looking to do within Black to Business as well. But I love that you said reaching out into Facebook groups as well.
Mm-hmm. Or I think that's a great idea, like emailing your list. I think people have lists already from conversations, and making a survey, like I do a 6-question survey, even just one question. What is your biggest struggle with X? Like little survey, send an email, and just have people fit a survey or say, hey, can I have a conversation? I'm not selling anything. And a lot of people forget to do the market research. They do it 10 years ago, and they haven't done it this year for the new program, the new offer. So you should always be talking to your audience and hearing what they say. So your marketing, your messaging is actually aligned with what they want.
Definitely. So one of the things, before we get into speaking about business strategy and before we get off of that, you focus on businesses online, on teaching entrepreneurs how to master their businesses online. So what made you want to focus online? Because that also is getting clear on, who your audience is. So why online?
Yeah, I focus mostly online because one thing, like everyone's business should be online. Even if you have a brick and mortar business, like you have a boutique that's physical, you still need the online space. So it's 2020. We, spoiler alert, we all have an online business in some capacity. So if you're like, I don't have an online business. You do. You should have one, firstly. And I think when I say I work with people online, it's the people who are really trying to leverage the online space to get, make income and impact, right? Your online space is to do those two things. If I am not asking someone to buy from me or asking for a sale, which is my income content or my income goal, I'm trying to make impact, right? I'm trying to reach people, and I always say give value. Like I'm sure you've heard a lot of people in social media saying give value, give value. And the way I define value is leaving people better than they found them. Right? Content should not be like how to do this, how to do that, but it's like how do I transform people's beliefs and thoughts about the industry, about the problem, so they want to work with me. So that's our job online, is to make income and impact. make money and leave people better than we found them. Those are the two things you really should be trying to do online with your business.
Definitely. And that's interesting because I know during the time that we're in now with COVID happening, a lot of brick and mortar businesses are being hit. So it's really about like, you know, how can people are scrapping on, they weren't initially focusing online, but now they are. And what advice can you give to those that are trying to, they weren't initially in that space as far as online, they were really just focusing on their stores, to transition to really focusing online? And what do you see the future as for online businesses?
Great. That's a great question. And when COVID hit, I think we all in our business and the world, we all kind of literally stopped. And for business owners, we had to pivot our marketing and messaging because what we were selling or the way we're talking to people, like in January, is not how we're talking to them now, right? So imagine if you're someone in fitness, going to the gym is something your people can't do. If you're talking about, homeschooling, like so many other industries have come up because of the new pivot. So if you're somebody who's looking at your business to COVID, I hope number one, you're not talking to your audience the exact same way. Very few people's businesses are exactly in the same tone. You've had to look at what the needs and demands are. I mean, I got a lot of friends who do beauty, and can you imagine trying to sell lipstick right now when we're wearing masks? I give it as simple as like, if I'm someone selling lipstick, how much does my messaging is not about the lipstick I'm selling, but what the lipstick needs, right? It's what happens after someone puts on lipstick. They feel beautiful, they feel empowered. So my messaging is going to be about what the lipstick does. And I can't say, oh, my product is just lipstick. You know what I mean? It's now talking about what your actual product does for somebody, which for me is what people hire me to do. People just stop and the weight loss, or I just sell lipstick. And I tell them, no. What happens after they lose weight? What happens after they put on the lipstick? They feel better in their body. They feel sexy. They can sleep better at night when they lose weight. So people always stop at the product and they forget to go and tell what happens after. So in COVID, you got to be looking at your product and what it means to people today and what happens after. Because maybe sometimes your messaging has changed now. I'm not like, oh, lipstick makes you feel it makes your lips look pretty, but it makes you feel empowered as a woman. Red lipstick makes me feel this way now. So definitely making sure you're pivoting your messaging to being what's going on with your human.
Definitely. And so the overall consensus is it's not lost. Your business isn't lost because of COVID, especially for brick and mortar businesses. And so that's what you would say?
Yeah, it's not lost. I think it's exciting because you're going to be able to reach more people now. You're going to be able to if you're just selling just to your local, community, you have an opportunity. And whenever anything like this happens in business, guys, like business always, when something doesn't work, I try to say, okay, what opportunity does this create? Okay, I've got a brick and mortar. I have an opportunity to sell outside of my community.
So quick interruption here. I know it was getting so good, but since Chido brought it up, now is the perfect time for me to share an awesome resource that we've created to help you create a solid, profitable plan for your business. The Black to Business Blueprint. We created this resource to help you find and map out your business plan to create a profitable vision for your business. So maybe you're just starting your business and you have no clue what essential tools and resources that you need to be implementing in your business. Or maybe you've already started your business and it's growing, but you are stressed and overwhelmed because you've never had the proper fundamentals and systems in place to simplify your business so that you can move to the next level. So if this is you, check out our Black to Business Blueprint, which is a solution for your frustrations. You can download this digital asset at blacktobusiness.com/blueprint. And just so you know, I remember experiencing a lot of excitement and passion in the first few years of my business. And I also remember that there were some frustrating moments. Here, I had this awesome idea and I was moving along, but it was moving slowly. It was moving slowly because I was spending so much time trying to figure out what I should be doing next. I was researching all over the place, when what I really needed was one place to give me all the answers that I needed to start. I was dealing with a shoestring budget and I could not afford to make mistakes. I needed this to work and I knew that it would, but what I needed was a clear plan. I needed to get clear on my plan and messaging so that I wasn't speaking to everyone, but to my ideal community. When I did this, I started to see results in Black to Business. So fast forward to now, after many mistakes and thousands of dollars spent, our vision is clear and we are truly winning. And I want you to win too. And we want to help you do it the right way and not have to break the bank to do so. So if you're listening in real time, you can get this gem for a small investment of just $37 at blacktobusiness.com/blueprint. Now, back to the show.
So how do I change my messaging and marketing to reach those people now? You get to be very creative during these hard times. A lot of innovative stuff happen when we go through a recession or go through failure, right? A lot of us become creative to solve our problems for our customers because we go through such adversity.
Love that point, which brings me to the next point of the importance of a business strategy and getting a little bit more into, pivoting and what are the things that you're able to offer as well. Mm-hmm. What is a business strategy for those who are listening, and why do you feel like businesses need a strategy?
A business strategy really is just like your roadmap. I think we have a routine. I think we wake up, we take our clothes off, we take a shower, we brush our teeth. We know we're setting ourselves up to get up and start the day. And I think your business should have that routine, that roadmap that makes sure that you're making money, right? If you're not making money, you don't have a business. I know a lot of people have a business. Oh, I have a business, but they haven't sold anything, right? So your business, if you're somebody who's trying to make income from your skills, your expertise, or product, you need a way to have checks and balances of how you're going to do that. Because it's not enough for us to have a great idea. It becomes a business when we sell. And when you get your first sale as a business, it's so exciting. And then you're like, oh, how can I do that again and again and again? Every month, every day, how can I get this sale? So your business strategy is your roadmap of how you can be growing, whether financially, like I said, making money, but also the impact. It's also about serving. Because the number one thing I tell people about business, if you're starting a business because you were laid off or because you want another income stream, if you're doing it for the money, you're in the wrong business. We start business.
Say that.
I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to do a business just to make money, just to make coin, just to secure the bag, like I'm telling you right now, it's going to fail because you got to be so passionate about serving those people with that problem. Like that passion saying, I can help people lose weight, or I can help people pay off debt. I can help people feel beautiful with makeup. You got to be so passionate about that thing that your business does that wins and failures, you can take them as they come. So business is definitely about the people you serve. It's not about the money. So your business strategy has to make sure that the impact part is just as important as the income, because you won't get the income if you're not making the impact. I guarantee that.
Definitely. And I love that you mentioned that it's not about the money, which of course like you said, you're making a business and it sells. But I think that mindset is something that we don't talk about enough in entrepreneurship, because our business is because it gets hard. And if you're doing it for the quick money, you will give up because you don't know your why. You don't understand your why. You haven't sat down and like I got on my desk now, lay a brick every day. And that brick, it takes time to build a house. So as long as you're doing it for the right reason, the money will come.
I love that. I think you have that in your toolkit. I think you have a business, you got your roadmap, right? And it talks about what's your why, right? Because you can lose passion for money, right? If you're making money, you don't like how you're making money, the people, the product, it'll show. Like it will show.
Yes. And speaking of strategy, so I really like to, especially with the direction that Black to Business is going now, and really what I want to do on this podcast is give people actionable steps and advice on how they can do it. I think an inspirational story is great, but how are we going to do these things? Like, what are the steps that we're going to take? And speaking from example, one of the things that Chido did is she had me step back and just look at the overall picture of my business and create a strategy that says, if someone gets this, what's the next step for that person? And I think that's important to have a strategy and, like you said, a roadmap in your business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I love doing that. Like, that's my zone of genius is like, I get excited when someone has a business idea. I'm like, oh my goodness, how can we make money? How can we reach your people? So I'm always excited when someone has a business idea because I want to bring on the pieces, but it's not enough just to have the idea. It's the implementation, the execution, the rejection, the failures, like all those come into the tenacity you need to have to launch a business.
Yes. And one of the things you also do very well is helping people, like, talk about some of the things that you're doing. But also, like, one of the things I really like is that you help people simplify and find their core, signature thing. Mm-hmm. So why is that important to, like, simplify your business?
Yeah. And you know what? When I started my business, like, I started as a virtual assistant. Like, I started just saying, hey, I help entrepreneurs save time, right? It was just like, I help everybody, right? Anyone wants to save time, I help them. And what I realized when I was just helping everyone, and I was like, no, who do I want to help? I realized a lot of my clients were Black women with PhDs who were ready to scale. I was like, oh, you know what? These are the people who come to me. Like, I need to double down to saying I help these people. So I had to realize, oh, these are the people I enjoy working with, and even simplifying my message. So I went from, helping anyone save time to, like, I help professional women scale their business, right? I got very clear that these are the people who I loved working with. They, they had the money to pay me. They were the ones who did the action. So imagine if I say help anyone, sometimes you have clients who don't want to do the work. So once I got there, I simplified saying, this is the person. And instead of just saying, I help them with all these packages, I say, no, I help them do this one thing. So I got very simple saying that these people have this problem. I only want to sell this problem instead of everything in the kitchen sink, right? This is when you're like, I sell everything because I can help everyone. And that does such a disservice because when someone reads how I help them, they're like, oh, I want to help you. I'm telling you right now with COVID, if you're specialized, if you're helping people with one thing, that's what people want help with, because you don't look like an expert if you help people do everything, right? A business coach is looking for help to grow their team, or they're looking help with their finances. And if I'm saying I help them do everything, they can't connect what my expertise is if I'm not clear that I help them do this one thing. And I help people find that one thing the way they want to help them with, which I call a signature service. Because after I do it, I have a process to do it. I have a roadmap. I can charge premium for it because I know it gets people results. So there's actually, you can do more, make more money by doing less. And that's what your signature service does. That's what I want to help people do, to make more money with a high premium service, just that one thing. And I want them to make more, 4 figures and above for doing one thing that they know how to do, and they do every time. And it's so possible when you simplify your business this way.
Yes, I agree. And because people are listening and they're doing a lot of things in their business, or they're offering a lot of things within their business. I even speak from experience. There were a lot of things that I was doing in Black to Business. It was events. It was, podcasting. It was all of these things. And it's like the moment I, began to focus on few things, 1 or 2 things, I began to not feel as overwhelmed, but I feel like I became like an expert in those specific things and were able to better focus on serving the needs of my audience. Mm-hmm. So a great thing that you mentioned is that you're able to, of course, make more money by simplifying. What about those people who are like, okay, I don't know what's going to make me the most, or how can I figure out what my signature should be, or one thing should be in my business?
And there's 2 things. There's 2 ways to answer that. Number 1 is you'll never know until you do action, because the market should tell you this is going to work and not. So that fear of like, I'm going to fail, I don't know. It's like, I can't tell you if it's not going to work, only by doing the doing. right? And this is what I like to do in my accelerated program, in my incubator program with my clients. I help them go and test it out, because I can't say it's going to work. Only by doing the doing, you'll know. So that's one way. It's not a great answer, because everyone likes to have someone tell them it's going to work or not. But honestly, no one can do unless you go and take it. What I say again, take it to market and test it. Number one. So always test something. Go and do the market research. Go and talk to the people you feel. There's probably people in your atmosphere who are perfect for them. And hear not only why they would take them, but say why they wouldn't. I think so many times we want to hear the yeses, but I love getting the no's, because guess what? In my marketing messaging, in my product, people who say, oh, I don't have time. Oh, I've got an action tracker or something. I have a rebuttal for why they wouldn't. Oh, it's too much money. Oh, well, if I gave you a service or product that saves you money, time and money, what will it mean to you to not spend 10 hours a day doing content? What will it mean if I could save you thousands of dollars if you did this yourself? So really listen for the objections as well as why someone would love your product. Really try to say why they wouldn't. And so that helps validate. So doing the doing, and as well as just going out there and launching. So many times we wait for permission to do it. And when you have a business, you don't have HR to tell you it's going to work, or to raise your rates, or to charge more. You have to really stop looking for validation from people. So when I tell my clients to raise their rates, to charge more, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so scared. But that has to come from them. So there's a lot of inner work that comes to a lot of this. It's like, how much do you believe in yourself and your product? And that's why I love working with women, Black women, because we're the ones who maybe are not feeling that comfortable because for whatever story we have. So I really like helping people like get to that place.
Yes. And another thing I think that would be beneficial for you to speak to is, of course, I've worked with you, so I know a lot of the things that you do, but also how I think you do really well is time management. So speaking to, because a lot of people probably listen are the only people working in their business, or they're a team of one or two or a couple of people. So how do you manage all of these things? And then also, because of your virtual assistant experience, when do you know to delegate and what to delegate?
Right. And this is when I have a term like really stepping into the CEO role, because when you start a business, you're going to come in, if you have a 9-to-5, you're going to step into your business with maybe employee mentality. There's three mentalities I see when people start a business. They are starting with I'm an employee. And then I got to realize when someone hires me, I'm not, unless it's a full-time job and they want someone to be part of their business. If I'm a contractor, freelancer, or I have my own business, I am not an employee. So if I want to get stuff done, I got to make sure I have boundaries with my clients to make sure that they understand I'm not an employee. If I am somebody who is a business owner, so when you're a CEO, the first thing I get a lot of my clients to do is hire out. There's certain things when you start a business, I get it. You are trying to save money, but there comes a certain time when time is really your currency. It's not the money. It's, do I need to be doing the social media graphics, or can I hire out a VA at $20, $25 an hour to do my content? Can I hire someone to do that? So the first time you have a process of how you do your content, if you can first capture a process of how you do something and then give it to somebody else to do it for you. That is how you step into like the real boss CEO mentality, is when you know when to let stuff go. Because I'm type A, I feel like I want to do everything. I can do everything, but am I supposed to? And you're not going to scale your business if you're doing everything in your business. I'm telling you right now, if you're in business thinking it's only going to be you and you're not going to have a team, you're not going to scale, because some stuff you should not be doing in your business. You gotta, like Auntie Maxine says, you gotta reclaim your time, right?
That's right.
In your business.
Yes. And speaking of, reclaiming your time and being able to scale, which is like monetizing, any tips on how business owners could start to monetize or think about ways that they want to monetize in their business and create a solid offer?
Yeah. I mean, I get comfortable changing my business model. Like I said, I started as a virtual assistant. Then I went to an online business manager, and now I'm an online business strategist. So I've done the time to grow my skills and expertise. But even in my business model, I'm changing my model. Like, you got to be comfortable changing your business model and finding, what works. So right now I'm really doubling down on a specific product. So when you have an idea, just get the minimum viable thing. Because what I see a lot of people do is like, I need a website, I need this. It's like, no, test it out. Sometimes you just need a landing page explaining the person who it's for, like the person, problem, promise, and going out and having people go and read it and seeing if they want to purchase it. And that's why all these conversations I was saying about your product or offer are so important, because I've done interviews and some people have been like, oh, I'm so interested. Can you let me know when that's ready? So if you're really trying to monetize an idea, like I was saying, do not create it just by yourself. Make sure you're interviewing people to make it better, and just get that MVP, that minimum viable product idea, and just test it out and sell that. And we have this thing in marketing where like, you should be selling stuff before you create it. I tell my clients, we do the landing page, we do the messaging before we even create it, because we want to make sure it sells before we even make anything. So that's a little insider tip that you guys go to university, right? You pay and you haven't taken a course, but you know that you're going to have value. And that's the same thinking when you go and test and pre-sell, because you're testing that people will purchase it before you make it. That's going to validate, oh, wow, people want this. I'm going to create it and sell it.
Definitely. Okay, gotcha. And then also, you're an online business strategist and you offer a lot of amazing programs. Well, not a lot, but some great, amazing programs. What are some of the things that you're able to do for your clients? And if I was someone that was interested in your services, how would you help me in my business?
Right now, the way people can work with me, like I was saying, a lot of clients like you, Monique, who are like really like extroverted. They want to do the action. These are people who I feel comfortable, who are like, I want the strategy. I want to do the work. I want to do this fast. I usually do this as my business intensive, which is like a VIP day where I map out all the strategies. So from getting your avatar, your human finessed, looking at your offers, like what do you want to sell, all the way to like, okay, now that we know what to sell, how do we go about selling? I work with my clients to get the strategy to do that. And I also do that. I also do implementation. So after we do strategy, if there's a piece of it that you want help and support, me and my team are able to go and launch that for you as well. So you can work with me in that capacity. If you have a business idea and you want the strategy and roadmap to do it, I help you do that. And I have right now, I have a little boot camp called Sell Your Skills Online. These are for my newbie business people who just have a skill and expertise and they want to make that into a business. My boot camp walks you through everything to go and get that minimum viable signature service and start selling it in 4 weeks or less if you can go through all the curriculum. So I do have a little boot camp that you can sign up for, and you can do that. And I'm also, next year, 2021, I'm doing a 12-month incubator where you work with me for 4 quarters, for a whole year, and we work on together in a group container. We work on you launching your signature service. And like I say, you got to launch it every quarter, and we'll be testing out together in the group. You have access to me. You have access to all my resources, my cheat sheets, my email sequences, my social media templates, all the things to help you do that. So if you're somebody who wants accountability of a group, you can get into the wait list of my Master Your Business online incubator, which will be launching January 2021. So anyone who's interested in joining us, you're most welcome.
Wow, that's exciting. I like that 12 months. And that's a big thing because you definitely hold people accountable. I can speak to that. And I did business intensive, which was amazing. The thoroughness of the program is great. And I feel like it's a very good, valuable and asset for my business. Some of the things that you were able to do in that program with the business intensive. So yes, I'm excited.
Great. I love doing it. The business heads are my favorite. So some people I realized with my clients, again, the market, some people just want the strategy and to go. But then I also realized some people want to do it slower, right? They want to either just take my course and do themselves. Some people actually want the community and someone to help them every quarter to saying, this is what we're doing this quarter. This is the plan for the next 90 days. Let's go and do it. So I was saying, I listened to what the market wants and I just made sure my offers were what people were telling me what they wanted to work with me and what capacity they wanted to work with me.
So how long did you think it took you to figure that out?
Well, I've been doing this now for like 4 years. So where you start is never where you're going to end up. And I have to be comfortable in changing. I've become so many different versions from an implementer. I was a virtual assistant, so I actually implemented. And then I was with my clients doing a lot of strategy. And it's like, oh, I can do strategy. A lot of my clients were never asking me to implement. They were like, Chido, what do you think? And I was like, oh, people always asking me about my thoughts. So that kind of validated, like, I know what I'm talking about. And then when I did launches with my clients, I was getting results. So it's one of those things where like you get permission by doing the work, seeing what works, what doesn't. I realized I did not like being a virtual assistant because, like I said, my job on a sales call is to give people the value. What will it mean if I could take this time away with you with my strategy? What will it mean to you if you had a roadmap to know what to do in your business, right? When I think about what it means to somebody, if I solve that problem and I can speak to that, they will pay $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 if I can speak to, I understand the transformation my business is going to do to them. And that's what anyone as a business, make sure you're not talking about, I have a course or a program. It's got these modules. No one cares about the product. They care about what happens after they work with you. They care that you understand their problem and you can give them the transformation they want. This is why focusing on one thing and being very clear on the problem and the person who's going to pay for that problem is going to transform the amount of money you can charge. It's going to transform the way you want to show up. Your social media content is going to be so clear because you understand the person, problem, and the promise, which is your service, the vehicle. You're going to solve it. That's the only thing people need to know from you. So if you can do those things, you'll charge more.
And I can't stress enough the importance of, us getting, like you said, into that mindset of also like not doing it for the money and making sure you're in a space for that mindset of, if it takes time for me, because if I could go back, I would definitely have spent more time on my strategy and planning versus just putting something out there without a plan. So I think really, really focus on your strategy that you have and then put it out there, even though it doesn't have to be perfect, but really think about the strategy.
And you know what's interesting about that whole story is that when we decide to go cheap, I say this all the time to my students. I have a Facebook group called Master Your Business Online. I was like, when you try to say, oh, I want to charge $2,000, but I'm going to give it to someone for $500, that person's not in pain enough to pay you, right? Sometimes people's pain to solve it has to be so high. So the fact that you did it wrong, you were like, this is such a painful problem. I will pay this amount to get it solved, right? So sometimes you meet people who are not going to pay what you want. They're not in pain enough. Don't try to decrease your money, your cost, because someone's not painful. Because I know people who are happy to pay $2,000, $5,000 for me to solve their problem because they have gone through not solving it. They've tried everything. YouTube, they've tried doing it themselves, where they're like, oh yeah, it's worth paying this much because I'm in so much pain. You are in so much pain because you failed so many times that you know I'm going to pay you, Chido, because I can't solve this problem.
Yeah. And honestly, it was to anyone out there, paying, it feels like a sacrifice, but honestly, the return on the investment is so worth it. The things that you learn. And like Chido said, like looking on Google, who has time for that? Like, of course, it's cheaper and it's free, but to have a central person or expert give you that advice, it's worth it. It's worth the time. Like you said, the time is money. So, I love that. You know, people aren't in pain enough.
And that's what you do, right? When you think of social media, it should be like how much pain your person is because they haven't solved their problem. Like if anyone's like, I don't know what to say to my people and my newsletters or on things, you should be talking about how much in pain they are. Not about your product, but if you can now talk saying, oh, what will it mean for me to be able to help you food prep for your whole family? What will it mean if I can get your taxes ready in 2 months? Oh my gosh, that will mean everything because I can't do that. That's gold. When we can just talk about the pain people are and then connect it to how we solve them, people pay top dollar for that every time.
Yes. Well, this has been so amazing, and you always give such great advice and drop so much knowledge. I do want to ask you, what are some of the tools that has helped you in your business, even as a startup when you were first getting started? What are some of the things that you would recommend to our audience on their entrepreneurial journey?
I think it's exactly what you did, Monique. It's like as soon as you can invest. Because investing in a coach, a program, a group is because you want to be around people doing those big things for you. I'm telling you, the first time I started my business, I invested in a program, hands down. And those people who I started my virtual assisting are still friends with me now. And we've all grown and changed our business models. So getting a Get Money team, people who are on the same journey as you is so important because you know what? Your family won't understand, your partner, your husband, your mother, no one's going to understand why you're doing this thing and maybe not making money or seeing success. So you need to be around people doing big things, right, with you. You got to get yourself. And sometimes the only way you get access to that is actually by paying to be in a community, to be around those people. Like investing, it's crazy because I know people who invest in me and I'm the first investment they've made. I'm like, oh my goodness, how long are you in business? Like whether it's a tool, a coach, a program, do not be scared to be like, I don't know what to do at this stage. I need help. I invest in a program every year because at my growth, I don't know everything. I'm always investing to get better and better. And whether that's to save me time, investing in that. And I invested in a whole team this year. I was like, I can do everything, but I don't want to do that. I had to invest and build out a team because I realized I don't want to do everything because my time is more important than the money, right? Because I can charge more because I can save time. So making sure you're investing in either people, tools to just make you better or make the experience of your business better. Do not wait till you're ready or have the money. Just find the money and invest because the people you meet will open doors and the team you build will help your business grow. Those are the best things that I've done. It was just investing in myself and my business every year. I have a budget every year to just do that.
I love that. And you can write those things off, honestly, that you're using to invest in yourself. And then also another thing is that's, you investing in yourself allows you to charge more because it's like I've invested in myself. So I'm going to increase these prices because I've sacrificed this to do
Every time I've purchased a course or program, I've doubled my prices. I did 2 programs this year. I've doubled my prices 2-3 times this year because my deliverables became so much better. Like Monique, my business intensive now, if I did it with you, you'll be blown away because it has changed so much. I've added so many great stuff. And it's because I've learned and I've done new exciting things to make it better. It's so much better now. That's all because I invested. So I charge more now because it's better.
I love it. And speaking of your business intensive, and also you mentioned that you have a Mastering Your Business Online Facebook group. Where are some of the places that people can follow you, either your website or your social handle?
My website
take advantage of it.
Is ChidoSamantha.com, Chido, Chido, Samantha.com. And my playground of choice is Instagram. I love come to the DMs. I love talking to people. So you can be like, hey, I listen to the podcast. Let me know what you found interesting. And you can find me at Chido_Samantha. come and say hi. I love it. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter as well, the same hashtag, on all the other platforms. But Instagram is my favorite, and I'd love for you guys to come join me, talk to me. I love conversations, really. So just slide in my DMs like Monique did 3 years ago, and here we are still working together.
Yep. And what has COVID brought out of you as a business owner? Like, what are some of the things that you've had to face since COVID happened?
Yeah, COVID was it really made me realize how certainty is so false. I think I knew that having a business, like, certainty is not real, but I think when you wake up, you go to a job, come home, and you have your weekends off, you have this false sense of certainty because you have a routine. And having a routine of how you do your day taken away from you, it brings up uncertainty. And when I started my business, the first thing I had to learn, I took a course, and he said to me, if you feel like you're certain because you have a routine, that's false. We have no certainty. Routine gives us certainty. So I have had to learn to be uncomfortable in not knowing if an idea is going to work, if this is going to sell. Like, you have to do it 100% without permission, without certainty, without even someone saying this is a great idea. You got to just try, because even if it doesn't work, you're going to get an answer. Oh, wow, the messaging was off, or the person I was selling to is off. And no one talks about failing and pivoting 100 times until they got the best product. So if you see, Amy Porterfield, Marie Folio, they launched how many times to get a program so good? So many times. So COVID reminded me that nothing is certain. Be comfortable in uncertainty, but just go and do the damn thing. Like, just do it with no permission and no uncertainty.
Definitely. I love that. And speaking of, I'm actually in Digital Course Academy now with Amy Porterfield, and that's really, I love her. I do. But it's definitely teaching me a lot. And like you said, the uncertainty. But as I mentioned before, some of the resources and tools that Chido gave, she actually helped Black to Business create our toolkit that's on the website.
Love it.
So make sure you take advantage of that, and also the business blueprint if you're having trouble understanding your why, your purpose, or how to profit in your business. So also check out the website for those resources. Thanks to Chido in helping Black to Business. And I really appreciate you coming on the show, Chido. I'm sure we'll have you again, but this has been an amazing conversation, and I wish you all the best in your new programs and in 2021.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Monique. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. I'm loving Black to Business. Thanks for having me.
Isn't she amazing? We could truly go on, and usually, trust me, we do. But seriously, what she is saying is so true. One of the things a couple of the things that resonated with me is that you want to leave people, as in your customers, better than you found them. And also how important it is to get clear on your messaging. So for example, with Black to Business, us even getting clearer and saying that we focus on service-based entrepreneurs. And we always keep those business owners in mind when we're creating content and resources. Yeah, there are people who own product-based business that can really find a lot of benefit in what we create. However, it is truly important for us to be very specific on who we're speaking with so that we're leaving these business owners better than we found them. And if you need help, again, take advantage of our awesome resource, the Business Blueprint, which will help you create a solid foundational plan for your business. It'll help you find out your why and show you how to pivot if you need to. Even more, the blueprint will show you how to financially plan for your business so that you are making a profit or you're increasing the profit that you already have. That is what business is. So if you're listening in real time, we are giving you this for just a small investment of $37. Like I said, I wish I would have known all of this. I wished I would have had the plan laid out for me in my early years. It would have saved me a lot of headaches and a lot of money. and I got serious. And if you're serious, you want to invest in your business. If you feel like this is the right resource for you, again, you can go to blacktobusiness.com/blueprint to download this resource. We really appreciate you for taking the time to listen, and we hope you got something out of today. So until next time, see ya.